Husband, okay.
Yeah, hit me up.
Well, as that unmistakable music indicates, we're going to talk not just the Atlanta Braves, but baseball in general, because the Hotstove League is on. We've come back from a lot of people thought it was uneventful winter meetings of about a week or a week and a half ago. Might do away with the shift in baseball. And everybody from Craig Counsell to certainly every traditionalist saying, no, don't ban the shift, this sort of thing. I don't know. I do think that effective bunting would end the shift very quickly. The problem is you don't hit a home run when you bunt. But, that's something that I just had not gotten a chance to talk about here on Tri-City Sports Now. I'm Marky Billson, Josh Brown of Knockahoma Nation. Banning the shift, yay or nay? What are your thoughts?
Definitely nay. First of all, I'm honored to be here with you again, Marky, my friend. But the shift, I am anti-regulating most anything in regards to baseball and rule changes and all that. It's absolutely silly. What Manfred's trying to do, I think, is infuse more offense into the game, by banning, the shift. I don't think that's going to help it or not, just in my opinion. So, no, I think it's a terrible idea. I think it's absolutely just stupid, and I think that Rob Manfred there's so many jokes. There's so many reasons we can joke about the guy, but he actually think that. I don't understand.
Yeah, I know it's just, it's one thing to say, okay, everybody except the catcher has to line up in fair territory, or, that's a legitimate rule. But the idea that you can't play the hitter, I wonder, are we going to then say this far or something? The Braves used to be ahead of the curve, actually, in defensive positioning. I think I told you this. I used to go to a lot of games at PNC Park, and the press box there, you could see, the whole field. It was right there. But I noticed that the Braves, more than any other team, and I was going to all the games at the time, would shade the center fielder to play the hitter the other way instead of to pull. It's not a little bit more, but I was like, well, this is sort of why the Braves are and Bobby Cox later told me, very brief, well, basically it's the way we pitch. We're not one of these teams that decide that we have to always throw inside. You hear that a lot, you got to throw inside. We'll hit the corner, hey, we'll do that. It's no players here, Josh Brown. A lot of people think that the Phillies, who probably in the offseason, a lot of people would have said, that's where Bryce Harper is going to go. Well, if they're paying Kutch $50 million, maybe not. But on the other hand, the reason the Pirates got rid of Kutch a year ago, or for that matter, the Giants, was they said, this is a guy whose production is declining.
Non-Brave. As a homer, and as a Braves fan, as we know, he is probably my favorite. Now, I love Andrew McCutchen. I think he's fantastic. I think he's such a good guy off the field, too. And I think when you're talking about growing the game, marketing to kids, however, I think he's not worth that money. I thought I kind of was interested in the Braves maybe going after him. I thought that would have been cool. Had the Braves done it, I would have. I love Andrew McCutchen. I don't think it's 2015 Andrew McCutchen. And if you look at the last year, and I know it's just 1 year, and I will grant you that I think Andrew McCutchen is better than he was last year. But if you look at last year and you compare numbers, F4, Andrew McCutchen 2.6, Nick Markakis 37. If you look at 2 outs with runners in score position, Andrew McCutchen 38 OPS plus, Nick Markakis 146 OPS plus. Nick Markakis, there's a lot of Braves fans who kind of wanted Andrew McCutchen and they want a guy like him and they don't like for the money.
I understand that. stats on broadcasting, when you start reciting stats, they go in one ear and out the other, but I think the point is made. Statistically, recently, Kutch and Markakis have been similar hitters. So why not, the devil that so to speak, that sort of thing. I wanted to ask you, Anibal Sanchez, going to the Nationals. Here was a guy who 24 starts, 2.83 ERA. He's with the Nats.
I will say that the Nationals and the Phillies over this last week, Marky, through the winter meetings, have made the division tougher for sure. I don't think Anibal Sanchez is a factor, and I'm going to sound like a homer again probably, but if you look at Anibal Sanchez, listen, there's no doubt he was fantastic last year, and he was such an important part of the Atlanta Braves 2018 campaign, and a huge diamond in the rough. You know what I mean? But if you look at his career, you're talking about a 35-year-old guy who was six. So he's a guy who, I've been watching baseball long enough, and and I could be wrong. He just had a really good year, and his 12 years prior, tell more of the story of who he is, I think, than just last year. And I could be wrong. He might have figured something out at age 34, and he might be the same pitcher in 2019. I just don't think it's going to happen.
Intriguing. Well, there has been a lot of discussion. I know Real Mundo is not on the market to go to the Mets anymore on that quad A role, kind of like the Pirates or the Reds plan for the future and all. But the Mets signed Wilson Ramos to be their catcher and not JT Realmundo. So let me ask, first of all, do you think that the Mets are back? I know their new general manager is saying, hey, we should be the favorite in the East this year. What are your thoughts on what the Mets have done in this offseason, Josh Brown of Knockahoma Nation?
I don't know if they're back. I will say that they got the injury bug last year, and it was almost this really weird freak thing. So I think that if you take that away and you look at the 2019 Mets and you assume that they're going to be mostly healthy, then yeah, they're a real threat. They really are, especially pitching wise. I don't know about Robinson Cano. He's kind of an ageless wonder. I could see him actually still being very good regardless of his age.
Mm-hmm.
The new catcher they got is phenomenal. I think JT Realmuto is maybe a little overrated. I think he's being shopped as if he's like Yogi Berra 2.0. And, the deal is, there's not a lot of great catchers right now. It's a weird mini era we're seeing in baseball where there's 3 or 4, if that, really good offensive catchers. And if you're a catcher these days and you hit 220, and you hit 15 dingers, then you'll get paid, And so I like Real Muto, but I think that I think he's just a little overrated. If you look at his splits, he's really a platoon guy. Honestly, he can't hit lefties at all. But back to the Mets, I think the Mets are going to be better. They can't do worse than they were. I think, So yeah, the Braves do need to maybe straighten some stuff here and there because the division did get better. I don't think the Mets are back per se, but I think they're going to be better.
Let's talk about the hometown signings here with the Braves. Brian McCann, 1 year, $2 million. Didn't do much with the Yankees, but, always nice sort of, bringing back a local product to Atlanta. You've got that. Okay, sell a couple more tickets, I guess. Josh Donaldson, 1 year, $23 million. And this is a former MVP candidate, but he was injury plagued last year. The Indians seem to be wanting to just totally go into a different direction than what they had before. It's like they're trying to blow up their team and see, if the division's so weak they can't repeat with all new faces next year. But let's talk about the Braves. Do you like the signing of Donaldson, or did you say that's a lot of money to spend on possibly injured goods who, let's face it, didn't really do anything with the Indians? It's not like they went to the next round of the playoffs or even won a single playoff game with Donaldson around. What was your thought of that signing?
I liked it. I do think it's a lot of money. In fact, it's the largest single-season free agent contract in Major League Baseball history, actually. It's
Wow.
the largest one-year free agent deal ever in all of baseball, like ever. And it's the largest AAV, annual value for the Braves player ever. So it's a lot of money. There's no shying away from that. That's a lot of money. But I will tell you, I think that Josh Donaldson has a better chance in 2019 to hit 30 bombs and hit like 280 than him come out and hit like 240 and just not play well. I think they did their due diligence on him. I think he's still really good. And with the Indians, and it was only 16 games, he goes to the Indians, he hits 280, he throws up a 400 on base, and a 920 OPS.
Now that's good,
savage.
yeah.
For only 16 games, he was a complete savage. So I think it's good. I do, and you know me, I love Johan Camargo. So the question is, what happens with Camargo? Well, Camargo's not going to start third base when you got Josh Donaldson. However, Camargo is the super utility guy the Braves have needed. If you watch the NLDS, it was men against boys. You were watching the Atlanta Braves with a bench of like Ryan Flaherty against the Los Angeles Dodgers with guys like, Yasiel Puig coming off the bench. So the Braves needed some Johan Camargos or Charlie Culbersons on their bench to compete with these bigger teams.
We're talking to Josh Brown, Knockahoma Nation. I'm Marky Billson at Tri-City Sports Now. Okay, you like Donaldson, and I got to tell you, thanks for the information. That 920 OPS, okay, 16 games with the Indians, but yeah, that does alleviate my fears from somebody who, they didn't even want to play. They didn't need Donaldson, that sort of thing. What about McCann? What do you, what do you do for the Braves in 2019? Can he rebound in your opinion, or was this, I don't know, like Brandon Phillips coming back or something? What's your thought here?
Yeah, nobody wants to be the guy that says, Brian McCann's not good anymore, because it's such a, the Braves marketing department are milking this. And,
yeah.
They're doing these little Frenchie and McCann videos of them sitting next to the fireplace talking about the good old days. They are milking Brian. But McCann, it's a tiny deal, right? So it's not it's not a big risk at all. And you're talking about a really young pitching staff, right? And so there might not be a better guy to work with young pitchers than Brian McCann. That's where his value is. He's also really good defensively, which I don't, and I probably should, but I don't really care as much as I probably should about defense when it comes to catchers. I think it's a little bit. I don't want to Mike Piazza back there, but I also don't. I don't really care as much about Tyler Flowers' pitch framing advanced metrics as most guys on Twitter. I just don't care. So B-Knight is better than Suzuki defensively, but he's not going to hit. I don't think.
I gotta just say, as a perspective of follower not only the Braves but other teams as well, and certainly from Pittsburgh and all this, I would say one of the things that they said when the Pirates with Andrew McCutchen we talked about before started to made a big deal about was the difference in pitch framing between Ryan Domet and Russell Martin behind home plate for the Pirates, and it was like night and day. And the pitching staff improved overnight. And so I hate to talk about, little league stories and all, but even trying to catch as a little kid and all this,